Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques. Jacques. What's up, folks? What is going on? Good afternoon to you, of those watching us here on Bleacher Report. Preseason game number 2, Jacques. In the preseason, we are 2-0 with the game-winning field goal by the Tennessee Titans, winning in Nashville 16-15 versus the Seattle Seahawks, Jacques. We here, bro. We're here, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, we here. Tighten up. Good game. Entertaining game, to say the least. That's one thing that we haven't had in a minute, so it's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, Hawk, most definitely, man.
Yeah. And for those in the that's watching us on Bleacher Report, man, let us know, man. Look, let us know who's out there, man. Put your name out there in the chat, and let us know if you watched the whole game like we did, because man, we're Titans all the way, man. We're gonna see it from the start to finish, man. So let's get started, Jacques, man. So shout out to everybody that's there on Bleacher Report. Shout out to Bleacher Report. So Jacques, Tennessee Titans, big victory here in our city, man. Nashville, 16-15 over the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the whole game, you and I was on the phone the entire time watching the game. What was the biggest positive that you saw from the Titans in this game? And we have the poll question out there as well.
Okay. One of the biggest positives, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, is special teams. Special teams, man. And I can't pronounce his last name. Was it Navarson? A 59-yard field goal. When is the last time the Tennessee Titans, have had a 59-yard field goal kicker, right? We've had Rob Baronis. We've had Al Del Greco. We've had nice kickers in the past. Of late, our kicking game has been really subpar for the past 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, right? Even with Nick Folk, he missed a field goal last week. That young man came in and did something I haven't seen done in a long time. And Hawk can tell y'all, I'm in here geeked because I'm like, I shouldn't be this geeked over a kicker, a rookie kicker, but a 59-yard field goal. You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that. Then he gets the game winner after that. I'm like, hey, let me continue with special teams. Special teams continues to be a strong point of this team. Jaquan Jackson and Kersey Jackson have had good positive returns even in this game. Even the punt game is the same thing. The actual special team coverage is pretty nice as well. So I think that's the positive that I've seen from this particular position. I'm not going to get into the rest of those other positives that I want to kind of dive into, but that's the positive for me from what I've seen in this particular game. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper, Jacques. Honestly, the biggest positive is from special teams. No question about that for this game. Jaquan Jackson, Kearis Jackson, those guys did an incredible job on the opportunity they had on the kickoff. And, of course, like you said, Braden Narveson with the 59-yard field goal and the game-winning kick. I mean, like, to your point, there's other positives in this game, but there's none more glaring than the special teams. You know, and I like to give something different, but I can't. Yeah. It's special teams. Yeah. Clearly, special teams was what won us this football game. And, again, we have that poll question out there, but – you know, is there a quarterback competition? As someone asked in the chat. Yes, there is a quarterback competition. You can't bring a guy in here and Braden Narveson and you know, like last week Nick Folk missed a field goal. You got a guy just kicked 2, and one of them being the game winner. So if he builds that consistency or builds that confidence in himself, you know, then you look at again Jaquan Jackson, Kearis Jackson, them guys returning as well as our punt return and kickoff return defense. They did an incredible job in holding front as well. So it's special teams. So that's not really been a strength of ours over the last probably 6 years. Yes, it's preseason. I get that. But today, I don't know if we've ever said special teams on play. What's the biggest positive? Today, special teams.
Exactly. Yep. We do have a kicker competition in play. Like you said, if he can come out next week and kick a 60-yard field goal, I'm sorry, Nick, bro. I like you. You've been cool. Your services were well played here. We really appreciate you, but I mean, so Vixen notice, here's the keys. You need to get the hell out of my house. seriously. So Hawk, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next segment, man. So we always go to the positives. What were some of the weak spots of this game that you noticed?
Man, so the weak spots that I saw in this game, we have that poll question out there as well, was the play of the offensive line, especially in the first half. And not so much the play. It was the penalties. Drive killers. Offensively, we were moving the football. You know what I'm saying? We were moving up from first down to second down, offsides, holding, offsides, holding. Those are killers. Holding, especially 10-yard penalties, right? We're getting 2nd and 3. Now we're 2nd and 13. Those are huge. And so when I'm looking at here, as far as this game, it's like, okay, we have our starting 5, right? As far as the offensive line going into the season. What happens if somebody goes down? Are we expecting all 5 offensive linemen to play all 17 games? No. Somebody's going to get hurt. Who's next? I don't know. These guys all look the same. You know what I mean? And there was one player I felt that may have stood out a little bit, may have been Jalen Duncan, but he wasn't consistent. So I think, man, honestly, the play of the offensive line, in particular with penalties, the penalties killed us. At the end of the day, we could have had at least 7 more points this game, based on the fact that we had so many penalties. So I think it's the offensive line play, in my opinion. What about you? What do you feel was the weak spots of the game?
I'm gonna go different, man. I'm gonna go to our run defense. Something that I noticed last week, even with some of the ones that was mixed in last week, our run defense was not very good, right? And then I look at the second team and third team defense and the run defense again. It's, it's not strong. I know we're missing Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, and hopefully they can address that. But again, something that I seen last week, I'm like, man, even T Sweat was in there last week, and the run defense was kind of questionable. That's been a strength of defense for almost, damn, man, I would say maybe 5-6 years. It's been a good little strength of our defense, and I'm looking at. But when you have a offload of a certain position or skill group, usually it tends to offload the others, like a scale. It's like you're supposed to be balanced, but sometimes you're going to have some off balance. So you got a good skill positions, your secondary, your pass rushers are thinner, but you don't have that big beef up front. Sometimes your run defense is going to suffer versus when it comes to pass defense, it's a lot better, right? So most definitely for me, it's a little nitpick, but something that I'm consistently seeing is our run defense that I'm a little concerned about. Hopefully, again, the addition of Jeffrey Simmons getting added to the defense when he does come to week 1 will help that. But we'll see.
Yeah. And even to your point, too, with the defense, bringing in Arden Key back, how rare is that? An overturned suspension. That's rare. Does that – I may have heard that maybe 2 or 3 years ago. That doesn't happen. So welcome back, Arden Key, because we need you, bro. We need you for sure. We do, man, for sure. So, Jacques, you and I talked a lot about the linebacker play, and I'm speaking on the inside linebackers. Guys like, Chance Campbell, Otis Reese, the rookie James Williams, and those guys. For this particular game, no, scrap that. For the preseason so far, you can, if you want to elaborate this game, go for it. But so far for the preseason, because many skeptics have our linebackers as our weakest spot on our defense. What do you feel is the grade that we should give our linebackers in the preseason so far?
Man, I'm actually going with like a B+ for now, right? It is creeping up to an A from the way the aggressiveness of our linebackers are playing, from Chance Campbell to Otis Reese, to James Williams. Those 3 to me have stuck out the most. And they're all the same, but they're different prototype. Chance is more, to me, a good pass coverage linebacker. I like his ability to drop back in coverage and just cover, something we really haven't had in a long time. Otis Reese is your sideline to sideline linebacker who's crazy, who's going to get in there, get his head dirty, and get his hands dirty where he's knocking folks in the face. And James Williams is your enforcer. That joker, he don't care about his body. He's just going to go in there and try to kill somebody every time that he possibly can. So when I went into the season, I was looking, I said, what's the weakest point on our defense? I said linebacker. I did. I think you've said it as well. We needed to sign another linebacker. But when I'm looking at it, I like our depth, right? We do have Murray. We have Jack Gibbons, and then we have the rookie. Jack Gibbons, to me personally, I don't think he fits what this linebacker core is trying to achieve. Is faster, speed, sideline to sideline, aggressiveness. He's big, right? He has the size. He's very smart. But when I look at Jack, he struggled last week. But when Chance came in, Chance was killing. And I'm going to go to specifically looking at this game. They were a little slow at first, right? But they picked it up in the second half. Chance almost had an interception. I'm actually rooting for Chance. For some reason, I like him, man. I like his tenacity. I like his skill set. And just to see him. I'm like, man, if he keeps being consistent, he'll make the team. I don't know how much they will put him up on the depth chart. He had an interception in training camp this past week, like against the Seahawks. So he has the skill set. I think he just needs to put it together. James Williams, I am very intrigued. That's your boy, man. Shout out to you, Hawk, for putting that on our radar and getting him drafted. And you predicting that we were going to draft him. His skill set, he looks the part. He looks the part. When I say looks the part, he looks like a linebacker. And you could tell he's still learning the position. But in the same breath, it's like he almost has it, if that makes sense. And with him rushing the passer, he's going to be a problem. Don't know how much playing time he's going to get. He's going to make his bread and butter right now, special teams. He's going to be a special teams player that we need to really watch out for. And then I look at Otis Reese, a standout from last year, later part of the last year. Otis, man, even in this game, he was a little slow. He was quiet, but he still made an impact, right? So, again, I thought the Seahawks were going to run off with this game, but they buckled down. And usually on defense, they say it starts in the trenches, but the next level is them linebackers, man. Again, you and I play DB. We know I don't like tackling, okay? So if the first line of defense doesn't get it, no pun intended, those linebackers are my next line of defense. Y'all my next line. And the Titans haven't had this nice of a depth of linebackers in a long time, in my opinion. What about you, Hawk?
So great points as far as, the linebackers in the preseason, even, looking at this game itself, because I didn't have expectations for these guys. Right. Chance Campbell, a low draft pick. Reese wasn't even drafted. James Williams, a 6th-round pick. These guys are the bottom of the barrel when you talk about being selected. So right now, how they've played, I'm giving them an A- right now. I think they're actually overplaying of what I thought and what you thought. Like, we coming into the season, we was like, man, so, looking at these last few games, and even against Seattle, they were aggressive. Mm-hmm. And then their energy brought the energy to the total defense. The defense was going haywire. I mean, so, I look at, James Williams, a guy, a very high energy guy, got to play a lot in the second half. He definitely did his thing. But you look at Chance Campbell, this guy had 8 tackles today. He was all over the field just like he was last week. So, to your point about Murray and Gibbons are starters or whatever like that, Murray's got his spot. But, with Gibbons, he's got some competition. Mm-hmm. He might want to dress out next week because these guys are stepping up and they all play a similar type of defense, and that's being very aggressive. So our linebackers are outplaying where they are, and I'm proud of them because if the linebackers don't show up, we're in trouble on defense. Man, we're in trouble. Especially when we go against teams that can run the football, we're in trouble. So I think right now they are playing about as good as I would have expected. I'm really shocked of how well they've played so far in these preseason games. And even this game, they, maybe not as early consistently, as you mentioned in the last game, but they finished the game very strong. So shout out to the linebackers, man.
Yep, facts, no paper. How cool would be your player of the game?
So we do have that poll question out there, man. Y'all, as far as who the player of this game was, I'm going to say for me, man, I'm going Jalen Harrell, dude. I'm going with our 7th round pick, Jalen Harrell. He's got it, man. He's got it. You and I were really high on this pick, man, when we drafted him in the 7th round, man. Ladies and gentlemen, he led Michigan, the national champion, the number 1 defense in the country. He was their leading sack guy, Jalen Harrell. He fell in the 7th round. You look at him, he's smooth. He gets to the quarterback. He plays with energy. And today he had 2 sacks today. 2 sacks. He had 2. Then you look at, the pass deflection that he had, right? Hey, Jalen Harrell was all over the field. You got Arden Key. You got Harold Landry. Those are your starters going into the season. But you got Rashad Weaver and some other guys. I don't know Weaver. I don't know these other guys. I'm telling you, Jalen Harrell's knocking on the door like, I'm here, y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready. And then Jalen Harrell didn't even play in the second half. So I let you know, like, okay, he's about to get some PT, man. So, there are a lot of players that I could say that was the player of the game, but I'm going Jalen Harrell here, man, for this particular game. Shout out to Jalen Harrell. What about you? Who do you feel is the player of the game?
I'm going to give it to Brady, man. Brady Verison, or however you say his last name, man. Shout out to him to come through and make a 59-yard field goal like he did. We ain't seen that in a long time, man. In a long time. So shout out to him, and then the game-winning field goal. But I also want to give my honorable mention to Jalen. Don't play that man no more in the regular rest of the preseason unless you want to get him reps. Again, to me, I think a cap casualty is about to be Weaver. Weaver is what Harold is. Weaver was what Harold was supposed to be, or Harold is supposed. You know what I mean. Weaver hasn't really performed, in my opinion. When you have a rookie, a 7th-round rookie that is 2 sacks, and did he have a sack last week too? Correct me if I'm wrong, or almost.
Almost. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you can look
I
that
don't
up.
think so.
Yeah, he was close.
Mm-hmm.
He was close. I think his pressure. I think he got pressured like 2 or 3 times. But to have 2 sacks in the preseason in one game as a rookie, yeah. When I look at his play style, I look at his bull rush. That's his bread and butter right now is the bull rush. And I'm like, once he develops another tool to rush in the passer with his hand placement and everything, Jalen gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem. He's going to have Arden Key on his toes. I like Arden. Don't get me wrong. That's my guy. That's my boy. The same breath, if Jalen is consistent, I might want to look at rotating them. I don't know how you would get them in. Like you said, we already have Harold. We have Arden. Yes, we do. But also, I have a pit bull sitting here on the bench. Now, we know contractually, Harold, what's his name is coming up contractually?
Harold Landry?
Yeah, Harold Landry, yes. So this is probably an insurance to say, hey, okay, Harold, if you don't want to negotiate your contract, we do have a young bull sitting on the bench that's ready to go. He's locked and loaded. So, an honorable mention, it'll be Harold, man. That Joker, Jalen is showing his worth. And like you always say, Hawk, what you say last year about Tajay when you seen Tajay, you said he good enough. I've seen enough. Go on and sit him down. Yeah. And you're 100% correct. I've seen enough. He's going to make this team. And I guess now you want to get him PT. You want to get him some reps to get ready for the season. But I don't want to get him hurt. Go sit him down. Yeah. Go sit down, young man. You've done your thing.
For sure, man. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we are at our favorite part of the show. For those that are watching outside of Bleacher Report, it's not going to show live, but you can still put comments in the comment section. But we are live on here on the Bleacher Report, the live chop up. This is an opportunity for you in the chat to throw us questions. We'll answer those questions. We'll fire them off, and we'll go from there. So throw us some questions in the chat. Let's get it rocking here on Bleacher Report, man.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, Jacques, Titan for Life asked, is there kicker competition?
Yes, it is. Yes. I don't want to say it. It's not a competition anymore, but yes, it's a competition. Yes, Nick Folks just needs to get out there and kick a 50-yard field goal to make it. He messed up by not making it last week. Now, again, I don't know if it's something that the coaches are like, well, we haven't seen enough from Navarez, and so we're going to just go with Nick. You're stupid. Because that 59-yard field goal just put a spot on the Titans. They're like, who is that? From all 31 other teams? They're looking at him like, who is that? Yeah. Who is that? Who is that? He kicked a 59-yard field goal. And he just kicked a 46-yard field goal with ease. Listen to what I'm saying. When I watched Nick Folk kick last year, I'm like this. Oh, Lord. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? In the 40, he's brother. Behind the 45, oh, no, he's trash. He's trash. He's trash. So when you can kick a 59-yard field goal with air still to spare, when I looked at it when the ball went through the goal, I'm looking, I said, oh, it got nice height on it. I said, okay. Perfect. The 46-yard, I was wrong. I was like, oh, it's a 30-yard field goal. It's a 46-yard field goal. Okay. My guy. Hey, I appreciate that. So, yes, it's a kicker competition, but right now I think my guy's winning. I think Braden is winning right now, in my opinion. Nick, right. You're kind of losing right now, man. So you might want to pick it up a little bit. But yeah, do you think it's a competition?
I think it's a competition. I think what they'll end up doing in the next preseason game, they won't dress Nick Folk because Nick Folk is who he is, right? You know, like I can't grow hair. It is what it is. You know what you got in Nick Folk. Though Narveson hit 2 big field goals, we still don't know about him yet. So I think the next preseason game, we're going to have him as a kicker. Let's see what he does then, right? Yep. Let's see how he does. If he's hitting more field goals like that, yeah, they might compete up to when the season starts. They're going to be in practicing, having a kickathon. And then whoever they feel is going to be better, then whoever, if Narveson gets cut, then somebody will pick him up. So yes,
Yeah.
there is a kicker competition. It's right now, it's really for Narvison to mess it up because Nick Folk has got the position. So it's for if Narvison, he misses some field goals next week, he's gonna be cut by Monday. But he knocks a few more 40+ yard field goals consistently. Oh yeah, buddy, there's competition. And so Nick Folk, the advantage he has now is that he did sign a 2-year deal. So, but that doesn't mean he's got the job. You got to still kick. But at least that puts him at least on the roster for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Right. You know what I mean? To at least give him that opportunity to compete. So yeah, there is Titan for life. Yes, there is competition. Yes.
You know what I would actually do next week? Situational football. If any preseason, anything that they have the scripts. In preseason, it's just situations. All right, what are we doing in 2-minute warning? Do this. I would purposely, if it's 4th and 5 on the 50 or 55, no, bro, go out there. I'm gonna see if you can do it again. If he knocks down another 55 or 58 yard field goal, you can have it. Sign him. I'm sorry, you made the team, my friend. Because if you're doing that on a consistent basis, like you said, we got us something. We got us something nice. I trust it. Yeah, I trust it. I have to trust you, and I trust it. I'm like, yeah. So he kind of came out of nowhere, man. Nick Folk missed the field goal last week, and that hurt him, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, for those in the chat, man, throw those questions out there. We got the live chop up going on right now. Again, shout out to the Titans with another big victory in the preseason. Hey, Braden Narvison with walk-off field goal. Awesome. We got the victory. So, Jacques, let's talk about quarterback play. Let's discuss this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there is a competition for quarterback 2. Going into the season, we signed Mason Rudolph. He's got the quarterback number 2 locked in. But Malik Willis has an opportunity to take that spot. Mm-hmm. And he got to start today. And, looking at how well he played or how indifferent, whether it be Mason Rudolph or Malik Willis, let's talk about the quarterback competition. What's your thoughts so far going into next week as far as the QB competition?
Right now, are you asking who's winning the competition?
However you want to spin it.
Mason Rudolph is winning the competition right now, which we expected, right? We expected him to ultimately, it's his to lose, if that makes sense. He has to really stink it up for him to go out there and lose it. But I will give credit to Malik. He has progressed tremendously from the last 2 years that I've seen him. And I'm a Malik. I rock with Malik to the left and the right, man. That's my do your thing, big homie. I'm rooting for you. But I think from a trust level, you trust Mason more, right? Because he's proven. He's won games. If Levis goes down, you have to have somebody that you can trust. And right now, Mason, I trust him, right? Just hope he don't get hit with no more helmets. But I trust him. Malik, it's the trust factor. Now, the interception that he threw it was kind of high. And it did ultimately cost him that drive. So he took him out. I would have liked, I think you mentioned this, I would have liked to see him kind of come in there and redeem himself to kind of march him downfield. But hey, it's the competition where they're switching him in and out. But overall, I give Malik his credit. He's done his thing. You're only not just playing for the Titans, but you're playing for all 31 other teams to try to get a job, right? Now, you do have the opportunity to keep 3 quarterbacks. You do. So it wouldn't surprise me if they sign him to the practice squad and he's that third option that dresses out in case anything crazy happens. But right now, Mason Rudolph is winning. Now, if I'm going to approach it next week, I would do the same thing you did this week. Mason Rudolph gets the first start. If they go this direction, let me say that. If y'all decide to go this direction, which I have another thought process on this whole thing, Mason Rudolph should get the start first. Malik comes in second, vice versa. But I also think that the first team offense needs to run at least 1 or 2 series to get in rhythm. I'm worried about our rhythm. And it really showed me in the Seahawks training when they did the joint practice with the Seahawks. They need to get in rhythm. So I would say if I'm scripting it, first team offense, get in there, run about a series. Mason, you get in there. You got the first, maybe the rest of the first half. Malik, you got the second half. We're going to swap. And how I would do it, Hawk, is I would swap the threes and the twos. 3s and the 2s, 3s and the 4s. So they each can get an equal amount of receiver play where you can be like, okay, Malik's just not throwing it to 3 and 4s or 5s, right? He's throwing it to 2s. He's throwing it to 3s. He's mixing it up, right? So that way it makes it a lot even versus making it uneven. So right now, to answer your question, Mason Rudolph is winning the competition. If I had to go in it today, Mason Rudolph would be my quarterback too. Malik has done some good things. I still think from a trust level, he still needs to show me a little bit more. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper. I think going into next week and going into the season, looking at, they both had an opportunity to play about the same amount of time. They both threw about the same amount of time. Mason Rudolph threw at 17, Malik Willis 16. They both even ran the same amount of time. They ran 4 times both. Malik Willis did have more of a running. He had 30 yards rushing, 7 yards a carry. But looking at, yes, the interception is going to look on the stats, even though it was a tip interception, it's still going to, they still going to have that. But even outside of that, I mean, play wise, Mason Rudolph did a little bit better, and especially in the second half, driving the football. I thought Mason Rudolph was getting better as the game kept going on. Malik Willis did have a pretty good third quarter. Some of the throws that Malik Willis was making was incredible throws, right? Yeah. But in order to overturn quarterback 2, you got to outplay him. Yep. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't outplay him. So there's some things that Malik Willis can do that Mason Rudolph can't do. He's more athletic, and I think he has a better gun as far as just throwing the ball straight through. But, Mason Rudolph has won 7 or 8 football games in his young career. And Mason Rudolph has proven to be an NFL quarterback. He's at least a quarterback number 2, right? At least that maximum, right? And he's not a starter. He's at least a QB2. So Malik Willis will probably get another chance in the next game. But I think this was the game they was looking for him to sort of overtake that. And I don't think he did today. Again, Malik Willis did not play bad today. He didn't play bad. But, in certain opportunities, there was a missed throw that he had to Nick Westbrook-Akina. Nick Westbrook-Akina was wide open. You got to make that throw. Yep. He did redeem himself on some throws, but, on certain things, he's got to make that. So I'm really impressed with how well he has improved. He has improved, and he's still on the team. He's been here for 3 years. So I do think they'll carry 3 quarterbacks. These will be the 3 quarterbacks. Malik will be QB3. Something miraculously would have to happen next week in the preseason. But I think Mason Rudolph right now going into it is QB2.
And I'm going to add to that. To be honest with you, I think they already had their mind made up when they signed Mason Rudolph anyway. Just my opinion. But you got to give it competition. But I just think they already knew. And I think that was Brian's first thing. I think that was his first thing of things on his to-do list is he likes Mason. He's like, I like his playing style. Not only just for Malik, but just in case Will Levis goes down or something funky happens with Will, I can put a proven veteran in there and say, hey, do your thing. He's going to win some games? Yeah, hopefully. But again, we'll get there later. But yeah, so Titans for Life, he actually posted a question. He said, Harold versus Key. And if he goes out there and does the same thing again, do they try and do a faster rotation between them two, or do you all think there's a chance for Harold to take over the starting role?
So I think this, man. Arden Key's the starter. That's why you paid him. This is last year in his contract. Unless Jalen Harold goes out there and plays like Lawrence Taylor, I think that going into the season, it's Arden Key's spot to lose. So I don't think it'll be a fast rotation, especially with the fact of what Arden Key just went through. And he was like, hey, I told y'all I was telling the truth. I told you all that, right? I know, historically that doesn't happen, but I didn't do it. He didn't do it. So I think Arden Key will get the start, and I think he'll be out there for a while. Jalen Harold will probably play a lot of special teams. But I think as the season progresses, if Arden Key, because he had just 6 sacks last season. So if Arden Key is not producing, then I can start seeing a faster rotation. Or if we stink and we suck, right, and you want to start getting the younger guys in, then Jalen Harold gets some playing time. But I think the first half of the season, I don't think it's going to be a faster rotation. I think it's going to be him and Harold Landry out there. Jalen Harold might come out there in some position. He's going to play. So let me get that out the way. I think he will play. But you still got other guys, too, out there that's trying to get them same positions, though I think Jalen Harold has moved above, say, Rashad Weaver and those guys. So I think it'll be the same. What about you, Jacques?
I think it'd be the same, but I think your future is super bright. I will say that. It makes it easier when it comes to contractual discussions, when it comes to somebody like Harold Landry and even Arden Key. Like you said, he's on the last year of his deal. So it's kind of an easier transition to say, okay, hey, Harold, You've proven yourself. You've gotten in there. You've been more consistent. You're stepping up. You're the guy. It's the replacement method, right? They're saying, okay, hey, if you're getting older, you're not really consistent. We can take this money and put it elsewhere and then go from there. To me, this is a future pick that's saying, okay, hey, we got this. Weaver, again, I honestly, to be honest with you, man, he's a cap casualty, man, because when you play the entire game, that tells me they're really evaluating to see what they have in you. Is it a fluke that you're not getting? You're supposed to be the sack, not saying a sack artist, but you're supposed to be getting to the quarterback like Harold is, and you're not, right? You're not consistent. You make plays sporadically. We can take him and plug him in here. And even you still got Caleb Murphy out there too. That's pretty solid as well. So I like his play as well. So these younger guys is more of an insurance. Like, hey, like you said, they're going to start for the rest of the year, but next year is going to be pretty nice. Just mark my words. Sure. Or later part in it, like you said, if we suck, whatnot. But your future is right. And now again, with him, my critique, I do have a critique, is the bull rush can only get you so far, right? You need to add another little repertoire to your pass rush abilities, right? The undercut, some type of spin move. I know you got your bull, but you might need to get with Von Miller in the offseason or somebody to just kind of say, hey, teach me something else that I can add to my belt to where, hey, I can become an elite pass rusher, right? He's just scratching the surface. He has elite potential. You just got to unlock it.
He does. Agreed. Facts. Totally agree with that. Because he goes against bigger linemen. Jalen Harold's not a big guy, right? Yep. 6'3", maybe 225, maybe. Exactly. So somebody could push him around if he does not add something to his pass rushing abilities for sure. So I'm gonna throw one more question out there, y'all. We're gonna end the show. So Jacques, we're gonna do a quick grade report. Mm-hmm. A through F on these players, a grade, and we move forward. I'm gonna ask you. You give me a grade. I'm gonna give them a grade. I'm gonna ask another one. I'm gonna go over players that we haven't talked about. You ready? Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
B.
A. Okay. Trey Avery.
C.
C minus. Julius Chestnut.
A B.
B. Hassan Haskins.
A C.
A C. Agreed. David Martin Robinson.
A B.
A minus. Jaquan Jackson.
A.
An A. Mason Kinsey.
A C.
A C. Agreed. Bryce Oliver.
A B plus.
A B minus. A B plus. I'm going B plus. I agree with you. B plus. All right. I'm gonna get maybe one more. Jarvis Brownlee.
He get an A in my opinion. He get an A. I get an A.
I give him a B today. I give him a B today. Oh, you
talking about today?
Today. Yeah, we talking about today's game.
I give him a B.
Okay.
I give him B. Okay. I give him an A last week. B.
Okay. All right, cool. Just wanted to bring up guys that we ain't talked about. I was like, just grade these guys real quick, man. So yeah. So
I like
that. All right, cool, man. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we want to say thank you all for joining the show, y'all. We appreciate everybody watching the show. Here on Bleacher Report, on any other YouTube, whatever, man. We appreciate y'all watching the show. If you have not followed us here on Bleacher Report, do so right now. You can follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk, or you can follow Jacques at Jacques Merrill. Follow us. We're on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We got content. We are on those internet streets, bro.
And again, football is back. We appreciate Bleacher Report. And like you said, go follow those social media handles, man. And again, Titans for life. Hey, thank you for participating, bro. We really appreciate that. And let's get to game 3 with New Orleans. And hey, let's keep this aggressive, man. Let's keep. I like where we're going. I like the progressiveness that this team is doing. I like this. So hey, let's keep it slow. Something we ain't been in a long time in the preseason is 2-0. So this is unique. So we won the game. That's another thing. Shout out to Brian. Oh, before we get out of here, shout out to Brian Callahan's play calling, by the way. I don't think we talk enough about that, but salute to you We'll get into it in depth in the next in our next show or whatnot.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we're not talking about that enough and how different this offense looks. So shout out to you, Brian,
Facts.
man. And you probably
Yep.
might not watch the show, but hey, salute to you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one last thing too, Jacques. Shout out to the Titans playing the Seahawks this whole week, man. It was tough from what I heard. It's very physical, but the Titans didn't back down to a very good physical defense, a very good physical team in general. The Titans are showing us something, man. Despite situations, they're showing us something, man. So for sure, man. Yep. Yep. So, well, cool. Well, Jacques, man. Well, hey, next game we coming through, man. Hey, y'all check us out. We'll be here, man. And Jacques, as we always say and as we always do, bro, facts.
No paper.